All right, Coach Paul and Ryan here. Today we're going to talk about how you probably can handle more volume than you think. I think in the fitness industry and in this kind of society in general, there is this idea that if you do too much, you'll kind of burn out or get worse. And that's really not the case when you are smartly programming and gradually building up to these high volumes. At the end of the day, the human body is resilient and capable and will adapt to the stressors you put on it if you give it the chance to. So at the end of the day, I think you can probably handle a lot more training volume than you think, and you'd probably benefit from it.
So an easy parallel that I like to use when I first intro this topic is running. And so if somebody were to have never ran in their life and then they go outside and they try and run 26 miles, they try and run a marathon, nobody would be surprised if they come in absolutely gassed and that was too much for them. But that's not to say that over time building up, you can attain that 26-mile run without a problem. And so we see the same thing in a gym. If somebody comes in and on their first day is doing very, very high volume or high intensity, they're going to be feeling that for a while. But over time, if the goal is to add an extra set or two per week, and then we move to more challenging exercises, and over the course of a training, multiple training blocks strung together, we make each one a little bit more demanding than the previous. As long as we're consistent and we put the work in, we're going to be able to handle a very high amount of training as long as our recovery is in check.
And the two key things he said there were having your recovery in check, which we talk about all the time, is when you're training at higher volumes, you need to make sure that you're recovering from that training. So you need to make sure that your lifestyle is in order to be able to handle that training. But like I said before, if you give your body the chance to adapt to the stress you put on it, it will adapt, but you have to give your body that chance, and that means handling your lifestyle factors. And now, Ryan, why would we want to train with higher volumes?
So if we're training at higher volumes, what we're really talking about is we're talking about exposing our body to more stress. And so if we can build up the volume that we can tolerate in the gym, any lifestyle stress that we're going to be experiencing is going to be less significant just as a result of our higher capacity. Training at higher volumes is going to make our bodies more resilient. We're going to be able to handle tougher workouts, longer workouts, which at the end of the day is just going to drive progress even farther. As well as training at higher volumes is going to help us build a little bit more lean mass when compared to lower volume training.
Yeah, I always use the example as if your capacity is here, and for some reason you have to do something that's up here, you probably won't be able to handle it. But if your volume's higher and you've worked your capacity up to here, pretty much any life event that happens will never bring you to your ceiling, and you'll be able to handle anything that comes at you.
So we really try and hammer home that you're capable of a lot more than you might think when it comes to training both inside and outside of a gym. This gym shutdown has proven to a lot of people that they can handle these very high volume workouts with their body weight or different tools that they might have at home to load different exercises. And it can be a really good opportunity for us to just build up our foundation or our baseline, so that when we try and really train other aspects of our physical attributes, we can push them a lot farther than if we didn't have this high base volume or base capacity.
So get out there, push yourself a little bit. You might be amazed at what happens.